Your brain is responsible for managing all of the functions in your body. But are you aware that some of the daily habits we engage in can negatively affect its performance? In fact, the consequences of these habits might be severe in the long run. Taking care of your most critical organ is important, and it involves understanding what maintains its health and what doesn't. Here are some surprising habits that can harm your brain without you realizing it. And without further ado, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Human Mind Project. Number 1, you stay in the dark too much. Making a habit of sitting in the dark for long periods doesn't do your brain any favors. Various studies have shown that not getting enough natural light can have a pretty negative effect on how your brain works. Scientists think that not getting enough light exposure can lead to a decline in cognitive abilities, a shakier memory, and even raise the chance of depression or anxiety. Long story short, it's important to not hang out in the dark too much and make sure you're getting enough light in your day-to-day to keep your brain and everything else ticking along nicely. Generally, they say that a good dose of vitamin D every day will help your depression or anxiety. Now, if you live in a country like I do that is mostly cloudy all the time and cold, it's best you use vitamin D as a supplement if you can't get access to your natural sunlight. Number 2, eating too much. Eating too much junk food can mess with your brain health, which is a bummer because it's so delicious. Scientists say that chowing down on stuff that's loaded with saturated fats, sugar, and chemicals can lead to all sorts of cognitive problems and even increase your chances of getting sick. A steady diet of this stuff can cause memory issues, trouble focusing, and make it harder to learn new things. Plus, if you overdo it and start packing on the pounds, you're more likely to find yourself dealing with serious conditions like Alzheimer's and dementia. So hey, if it's important to keep your eating habits in check and make sure you're fueling your brain with good stuff. Number 3, are you still smoking? It's really important to be mindful of how much you smoke. You already know that lighting up can be bad for your lungs, but did you know it can also seriously impact your brain health? There's tons of research out there that shows how smoking too much can lead to cognitive decline and even increase your chances of developing neurological disorders. It's been proven that smoking can quicken the aging process of your brain, make it harder to remember things, stay focused, and make good decisions. Plus, there are all kinds of chemicals in cigarettes that can lead to inflammation and other nasty reactions in your brain. It might sound daunting, but quitting smoking and avoiding secondhand smoke can make all the difference in protecting your brain power and making sure that your cognitive function stays sharp as a tack. Number 4, you don't move enough. When you don't get up and move around enough, it could harm your brain health. There is a ton of research out there that physical activity is essential for keeping your brain working at its best. Without regular exercise, you might start forgetting things, have trouble remembering stuff, and even increase your chances of developing neurological conditions like dementia. The good news is, studies have also shown that working out can release brain-boosting chemicals, help your brain change and grow, and improve your overall mental health. So if you want to keep your mind sharp and healthy, make sure you exercise regularly. Number 5, you blast your headphones. Listening to music on full blast with earbuds can cause permanent hearing damage in just half an hour, and it's not just our ears that suffer. Studies show that older people who experience hearing loss are more likely to have trouble with memory and develop brain diseases like Alzheimer's. When the brain has to work extra hard to process conversations, it struggles to retain details in memory. That's why it's a good idea to turn down the volume on our devices no more than 60% of its maximum, and take regular breaks from listening for more than a couple of hours at a time. Number 6, you have too much alone time. It's not about the number of social media followers you have. What truly matters is the quality of your human connections. Studies have consistently shown that people who have a strong bond with a small group of friends tend to be happier, more productive, and generally healthier. Plus, having strong social ties can even help reduce the risk of cognitive decline and Alzheimer's. So if you're feeling lonely or isolated, try reaching out to your pals or joining a group activity like dance lessons, tennis, or card games. You'll be fostering real connections that boost your social and brain health. Number 7, lack of sleep. We all have a few guilty pleasures that we indulge in from time to time, but some of these can harm our brains. One such habit is not getting enough sleep, which may increase the risk of developing dementia, such as Alzheimer's disease. To keep our brains healthy, it's important to establish a consistent sleep schedule. If you struggle with sleep, try to avoid alcohol, caffeine, and electronic devices in the evening. Instead, engage in a calming pre-bedtime routine. It's so important to reduce the electronic device usage that you have in the evening before your bedtime, and reduce and minimize any blue light exposure before bed. Blue light exposure is known to keep you awake at night and interrupt your circadian rhythms. Number 8, excessive stress. Chronic and overwhelming stress can harm brain health by damaging brain cells, particularly in the hippocampus part of the brain, which is responsible for memory and learning. Prolonged exposure to stress hormones can lead to memory problems and difficulty forming new memories. To protect the brain, practice stress-reducing techniques like exercise, mindfulness, and seeking support. Prioritizing your brain health through positive lifestyle changes is essential for overall well-being and cognitive function. Number 9, a sedentary lifestyle. It's totally fine to kick back and relax on the couch every once in a while. It's pretty darn good for you. But if you spend all day parked on your rear end and never move your body, it's not so great for your brain or your overall health. Living a sedentary lifestyle has been linked to health issues like diabetes and heart diseases, which can also impact your brain health in negative ways. That's why it's so important to get outside and move your body every day. Take a walk around your neighborhood, pop into a gym, or find an activity that you enjoy. When you move your body, your brain gets a workout too. Number 10, multitasking. If you're someone who is constantly multitasking, it's important to know that this habit can harm your brain by hindering brain development. This is because multitasking can cause the gray matter in your brain, which controls emotions, decision-making, and empathy, to shrink. To prevent this from happening, it's recommended that you focus on one task at a time, no matter what you're trying to achieve. This approach will not only improve your productivity, it will also help protect your brain. So take it easy and take your time. Number 11, working when you're sick. Many folks sacrifice their health for their studies and careers, but it's not a good idea to force your brain to function or concentrate when you're feeling under the weather. It's critical to understand that your body is busy repairing itself when you're battling an illness, and it attempts to direct all of its reserves towards the healing process. The same rules apply to your brain. When you give it too many tasks to handle, especially when you're not in the peak condition, you're overloading it and shortchanging yourself in the process. Cut yourself some slack and recognize the signs when you need a break to recuperate. Take a day off from work or school and prioritize your health. You'll be very happy that you did. And lastly, number 12, sleeping with your head covered. Do you love snuggling up in bed with a cozy blanket wrapped around your head? Although it feels warm and fuzzy, it might not be the best idea. Covering your head while sleeping can cause you to breathe in more carbon dioxide and less oxygen. This can have negative effects on your brain and your health. Oxygen is super important for your brain function, so it's best to avoid covering your head. If you're feeling chilly, try adjusting the temperature instead. If you found this video valuable, don't hesitate to subscribe and receive more inspiring content like this. Until next time, take care.